This is the multiple choice section of the space test for Earth science. Question number 1. This determines the color of a star. Size, temperature, distance, or location. What is the most common type of galaxy? Elliptical, spiral, barred spiral, or irregular? All of the following are ways we classify or describe stars except age, brightness, color, distance, or variation. The stages of a star's life depend on a balance between what? Distance and location, hydrogen and iron, gravity and fusion, or speed and rotation. If we are measuring absolute magnitude, which would have a lower negative number value? Sirius, our sun, not enough information to answer, or it would depend on the observer. Initially, an average or main sequence star is fueled by the stars around it, uses fission to combine heavy elements, fuses hydrogen, or fuses larger elements like iron. How do we detect black holes? Observing them using telescopes, traveling to black hole regions, observing them directly using satellites, or using X-rays. The following are all reasons that Sputnik was important, except it promoted science and math education, it showed that the US was the leader in space technology, it drove the space race, or it allowed scientists to study radio transmission, atmosphere density, and objects in orbit. What do we use to measure distance in space, and why? Kilometers, because it is a large scientific measurement that we are familiar with on Earth. Light years, because it makes more sense to figure out how long it takes to get somewhere in space than to know how far it is. Light years, because the usual big measurement systems we have on Earth aren't big enough in space. And X-rays, because it is impossible to see the darkness of space to measure, and many things are too far from Earth. What type of galaxy is our galaxy? Elliptical, spiral, barred spiral, or irregular? What is the closest star to Earth? Sirius, Betelgeuse, Sun, or Polaris? A main sequence star like ours will end with a black hole, a neutron star, a red giant, or a white dwarf. What event gave us an accurate measure of the age of the moon and was a great accomplishment in spaceflight for the US? Challenger, space race, Apollo 11, or Sputnik? These have been used for generations for orientation and to explain cultural beliefs. Constellations, black holes, galaxies, or supergiants. The Goldilocks zone, or habitable zone, is the range of orbits around a star where only humans can survive, area on the surface of the sun that generates the amount of heat needed to sustain life, range of orbits around a star with the right temperatures to have liquid water, or the range of the atmosphere on a planet that allows for breathable air. Why do scientists use classification systems? to be able to sort and group things to make them easier to understand and study, to get credit for naming and classifying new findings and information, to make information more vague and generalized, or to be able to test specific genomes and track changes over time. What event caused NASA to make big changes in the shuttle program and focus on safety and accountability? Challenger, Space Race, Apollo 11, or Sputnik? Gravity does this, while fusion does this. Speeds up the rotation of a star, slows down the rotation of a star, heats and expands a star, tries to collapse a star, determines the brightness of a star, determines the mass of a star, or tries to collapse a star and heats and expands a star. Which of the following is the life cycle of a more massive star? Stellar nebula, massive star, red giant, supernova, neutron star, or black hole? Stellar nebula, massive star, red supergiant, planetary nebula, neutron star/black hole. Stellar nebula, massive star, red giant, supernova, neutron star, black hole. Or stellar nebula, massive star, red giant, supernova, white dwarf. Last question. The future of space exploration is uncertain, but there are many things that would need to be figured out in order for humans to live somewhere else, like Mars, for example. All the following are aspects of life that we would have to figure out to live on Mars, except regulating temperature, bringing or growing food, creating solid terrestrial surfaces, finding or creating liquid water, or creating and wearing special spacesuits.